So this is week 2 of building the strength solution. Mapped out a little bit about what this week was going to go like. So we've got a flight to catch Friday morning to Amsterdam. We've got a seminar on Saturday, and then we're going to be flying back on Sunday, which means we've got a busy, congested start of the week. So we've got to travel Thursday night to go see Sam, who I introduced via FaceTime last week. He's flying out with us, so we're going to do a little bit of learning together, and I'm going to document that whole process. So it's going to be pretty sick to see behind the scenes of what kind of periodization seminar looks like. Whether you give a fuck, who knows? I do. I get off on it. But that means then we've got 4 training sessions that we've got to fit in before that. We can do one while we're out there, which is perfect. So we're actually going to kick things off with a gym session today. We're going to get that done right now. Well, I'll go into the gym plans have been thwarted, because the good thing about having a girlfriend that works as cabin crew means that you can sometimes leave piss in the toilet seat, you won't get shouted at, and you can leave some dishes in the drying rack where they should be. However, the issue is she steals your toothpaste. So right now I've got a bit of a dilemma. I cannot brush my teeth. Oof. Time to run to the shop.
The headphones on. Sounds so nice. We all crabs in a barrel. Just chose to do my climbing in barbed wire ankles. I was winning half the battle. I'm from where the worst thing that you could ever do is
So we have some incredible news, right? Josh, the guy behind the editing of all this, has come with some good news this Monday morning. He has said, Bosh, your first draft is uploaded. So we're going to actually give it a little bit of a watch now and see if I just chat shit or whether there's actually anything useful from it. I'm going with the first, but who knows, I may pull this one out the bag. Well. How's that? Well, that is behind the scenes of the Strength Solution episode 1. I've just given a little bit of a preview. Not too sure when it's going to be uploaded. Probably going to be looking to do it maybe tonight. I may just throw it out there. I'm fucking a little bit scared of putting myself out there like this. Like the first time I did the Instagram, as I mentioned in the first one, it was kind of the 3 hours just stood behind the camera going, fuck, I hate this. God, why am I so stupid? I'm shit at this. I get that same feeling about these kind of longer stuff. So it's going to be one of those where I'll just pop it up and see what the world thinks. And I did chat a lot of shit, as I always do. Some of it you may find useful. Other bits you may just be like, gosh, don't you have anyone else to speak to? And the answer is no. It's why I bought a camera with a big fluffy thing on top. Is because Brooke is sick and tired of listening to me. So you're going to have to put up with it if you want to watch the vlogs. But so the time is 10 past 10 and it's official. Vlog number 1 is up. I am very, very apprehensive about this. It's something that, you know, I've never really wanted to put myself out there in this regard, and something that I've always been quite nervous about, but seeing the kind of work that's gone in behind the scenes on it and actually giving it a watch, I'm quite excited. I want this series to be like a raw, uncut, unscripted take on the day-to-day of what happens when trying to grow an online coaching business and scale, and we've obviously set the goal of helping 100 people, and tomorrow we've got a big task lined up, and it's going to be something that I'll share some more about. But for the time being, I'm going to sit there and panic to see what people thought about me. But episode 1 up, done the hard part, time to carry this on.
We all crabs in a barrel. Just chose to do my climbing in barbed wire ankles. I was winning half the battle. I'm from where the worst thing that you could ever do is tattle. They'll zip your mouth shut and zip you up and skedaddle. I used to walk through the peas and jump from my own.
Bottoms up. Typical bin man come as soon as I'm shooting a video. Gosh, YouTuber problems. But what's happening, people? Welcome back to episode 2 of Building the Strength Solution. Now, this is going to be a series where I document my journey in helping grow the Strength Solution to become a leading S&C company. We got goals ticking off 100 athletes, opening up a performance facility, and we're going to be getting to all that on this series. But we're tasked with a very important task this week. So before we get into that, I wanted to give some background to help give you guys an understanding as to what's going on, because I've been coaching for 6 years, but 18 months ago, we made a big business decision that we wanted to kind of double down and work with rugby athletes, because for me, it was something that I'd always struggled with. I'd always struggled juggling my training and making it kind of carry over to an on-pitch performance. And I'd played the sport for 12 years. I'd been coaching my mates for probably since that period of time as well. And I just knew I could really make an impact and help rugby players. So we decided to double down on that. And since then, we've had great success. We've onboarded, I think it's over the past kind of 365 days, like 45 new athletes around the rugby niche, which is fucking great. But we ran into a problem, and that problem is that I am absolutely naffed. Every single week, I have to program for 55 new athletes, and to be honest, it is soul destroying sometimes. Now, for context, when I was working in person, I had 60 clients and I was juggling it, but I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. And I remember it was one work shift where I woke up at 5:30, the alarm went off to get to the gym for 6. And I remember driving to the gym and I just had a little bit of a mental breakdown in the car and started crying because I was starting work at 6 a.m, finishing at 10 p.m, and I had a little bit of a gap in between. And it made me realize that even though I want to grow this business and even though I want to expand, I don't want to do it at the sake of my health, my relationships, and everything else that's going on around. So that is why the task this week is to start branching out and looking for a second coach to come on board the Strength Solution and ultimately help me deliver a better service to more athletes. And that is the goal. So we're going to be putting out kind of an Instagram post. We've got a couple of chats already organized with some coaches, and we're basically going to be walking you through a step-by-step thing of what we're looking for a coach coming on board, just so you've got an idea as to the things that we look at to make sure that we've got your best interest at heart. So
they'll zip your mouth shut and zip you up and skedaddle. I used to walk through the peas and jump from my own shadow.
Not only are we doing the zoomy, we've coupled this up with the fact that I found the perfect spot in the car to place the camera without making the car look like a shit tip. I think I'm getting the hang of this YouTube stuff. This morning, we've boxed off a PT session with Dylan. Now, Dylan's an absolute goat. I've mentioned him before. We won't go into too much detail. His head will get too big because he actually came in to his session last week and was like, do you know what? I think I'm taller than you now. And it turns out he is Team Short King checking in. But now that we've boxed that off, we've got an important task to do today. Well, we've got two. Number one is to actually find a coffee shop with good coffee and good parking to actually do task number two. That is the struggles of every online coach. And then task number two is to actually sit down and identify what I'm looking for from a second coach. Because truth be told, I have never been employed in my life and I've only ever gone through one job interview. And that job interview was a fake job interview set up to get more experience at job interviews, and I think I got the job, but there wasn't actually a job. So I'm a little bit confused on how this whole process works, but I'm lucky enough to have Joe, who's a friend and mentor and owns the HPC, to help guide me through this business journey. He's been in my corner for the past kind of 3 to 4 years, and quite honestly, if it wasn't for him, I think I'd still be stuck in my mum's spare room with her doing the washing. Even though that doesn't sound too bad, I'm quite thankful that the business has grown, and it's largely down to the work that he's put in, and he's given me a task of identifying exactly what I'm looking for from a second coach and what I want them to bring to the business. So stay tuned. We're going to maybe film a montage of me working just to pretend I'm busy, and then we will kind of hit you after work block 1 what we've come up with. For everyone that doesn't know, this is Sam. He was embarrassed about it last time because of how big his head looks. But do you want to tell everyone what we're up to this week?
We are going to attempt to survive a trip to Amsterdam for 2 days and act like adults.
That's the hardest part, is acting like the adults.
Yeah.
But do you want to know a fun fact? Sam texted me at 11:10 last night asking when Amsterdam is, because he double booked himself yet again. And I was like, we're flying in 3 days, bro. He was like, what, like the 3 days is in like 3 days from now? I was like, yes. So
it was a legitimate double check just to make sure that the plans make it out of the group chat, because it's one of these ropey plans that we're like, yeah, well, you know, we agreed it 6 months ago, so it's just double check the date. Don't worry, I hadn't forgotten.
This man is saying it was booked 6 months ago. We literally booked the flight together 2 weeks ago. I messaged him, I booked the hotel, I've organised it all. This man, the only thing not making out this group chat is this man's sense of autonomy.
That's a long time to project into the future. That's a long time to hold something in your mind.
Yeah, and there's someone.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's someone that may crash into my car now. I feel that I have parked in the wrong spot.
Good morning, Mr. YouTube. Good morning, everyone. Today, I feel fucking splendid. I have just slept for like 11 hours. No wonder why I felt like shit yesterday. I had like 6 hours in bed. But today, I could run through brick walls. Like, honestly, right now, I feel like today could be one of the best days of my life. It's mental what happens when you try not to shortcut sleep. Whew. It's got me excited. I've got that Friday feeling on a Thursday. What a day. But today's a busy day. Programming from kind of now till 5 and then off to Winchester. Ooh, we nearly turned the camera around and we had a naked Boccarunu.
Well, Joe, where's my phone?
She's had a good sleep too, as you can tell.
Help me.
Right, bye guys, I've got to go help. Not only have I had a fantastic day this morning, good sleep, good breakfast, these bad boys have come. Now, for those that don't know, I have got a real bad habit of losing everything. It's an annoying habit, and one that I wish I would get out of. But these are the shoes that I left in Greece. Nice pair of Jordans left there. And I missed the delivery date 3 times from. And today they finally come. So I'm going to put my new shoes on. I'm going to go run to the shop.
I even took them shits out when I rolled up my blunts. I wanted to be like the dealers, feared like the killers, fresh like the boosters, attitude what the deal is. Niggas ask me where I'm from and I'd say Brooklyn proud. Wore my Timbs all year round and my kush was loud.
Voila! They've arrived. Woo! Put them on today. Missed these. They're the nicest shoes that I've owned to kick about as a daily driver. Yeah. Bosh. What's happening now, man, fellas? Hope we're all good. So, work block 1 done of the day. I don't know if this is actually going to be any good footage because it's bouncing up and down. And whenever I turn steady shot on, it looked like this, so it wasn't ideal. So, hopefully this is usable footage. If not, I do apologise. We'll get there one day. But I thought it would be a perfect place to just kind of give a little bit of a rundown as to why I'm bringing on second coach. Because for me, Thursdays and Fridays are fully dominated by programming. Like I said, we've got 55 athletes on board, and the majority of them are on week-by-week programs. So, it's my opportunity to sit down on Thursday, Friday, review exactly what they've done, exactly what they've got coming up, and essentially battle plan for the week coming up. This means that programs are adjusted to meet the demands of the athlete, and I feel that's how you get the best results. But you may be thinking, surely if you get more and more athletes on board the program, that's the best thing about it. And while it is, and I wish I could expand my whole time to coach as many of you lovely lot as possible, the issue is when you're kind of running a business and trying to grow it, you've got kind of 2 categories of tasks. Number 1 is in the business stuff, which is your check-ins, your daily messaging, your comms with athletes, your program adjustments, things like that. And then you've got on the business tasks. Now these are the quote unquote more CEO style shit where you've got to like actually focus on building a business. And when you get bogged down within the business tasks like programming and messaging, the business doesn't really grow at the rate that you'd like because you're not putting the necessary infrastructure, frameworks and things in place to be able to do that. And that's what a second coach is coming on for me to be able to do. Pull my time away from in the business stuff for the time being and focus on how I'm actually going to grow the strength solution, how I'm going to get 100 athletes on board, the systems that I'm going to need to have to basically run my own facility. And that stuff is something that you can't really get done. Fucking hell. I tell you what, this hill may not seem big, but walking and talking at the same time, whew, it is tough. But yeah, essentially it's one of those things where if you spend too much time in any one of those areas, you're going to kind of not grow the business as a result. And that's the thing for me. I want to make sure that right now we double down on client acquisition, bringing more athletes on board, giving them good results. And while we're doing that, it meant I've had to take some time away from the on the business stuff, like growing it. And that's what my job is to do. At the end of the day, I want to make the Strength Solution a, leading S&C brand. And the only way that we can do that is grow. And the only way we can grow is if I dedicate more time to that area. So that's what I'm bringing on a second coach for, is to basically do the job that I do with athletes and make that the only thing that they have to do. Because when they do that, they can give more time to it, give more effort, and ultimately that's the thing that gets the best results. So block 1 of programming done, block 2 coming up in a little while now. Gonna have some food first and take it from there. How do you feel like it's gone? Any places you feel like you're thriving? Any places you feel like you need a little bit more work on?
Yeah, so definitely my lower body, my speed and acceleration. Maybe not top speed, but the first few steps out the block, I feel as if, a couple of steps and I'm gone. And, I've gassed people recently that, last season, like I wouldn't have been able to get anywhere near them. And now I'm leaving them behind. So definitely lower body strength has come on massively in the last month.
So what you just saw was some clips from a block breakdown call with none other than the Archie Dunners. He's an athlete of ours. He's been on board the program for a month and he's absolutely crushing it at the minute. He's taking it to like a duck to water. Taking to it like a duck to water. There we go. And he's part of the academy. So for those that don't know, we've got kind of two strings to the service. We've got the academy and we've got the elite package. Now, the thing that differs between these two is the level of adjustment and communication that you'll get with your coach. So if you're on the academy, we'll sit down and we will basically plan out your month. We will look at where you're at and what demands that you think you've got, and we'll build the program around that. Whereas the elite package is, we'll still do that, we'll still review things every single month, but we'll make adjustments to the program on a weekly or daily basis if we need to make sure that we're meeting you exactly where you're at, because some people progress at different rates. So if we can make sure that whenever our athletes need us, we can be there to provide them the support to kind of move over those challenges, that's where we get results faster, okay? Is we make sure that whatever demands our athlete has in front of us, we can kind of help them overcome. One of the things that is unanimous between the two programs is the level of personalization. I know some people have kind of like a one-to-one service and then a group program, but we will never do a group program, because for me, when it comes to it, group programs work at the professional level, and I've been involved in setups where, you know, forwards will follow a similar program. Maybe you'll have a front row, second row program, then a back row program, or you've got a backs program, things like that. And that works at the professional level because most people at that level have similar demands, because you all work the same job. You all turn up to the rugby club, you do what the rugby club says, you go home, and then the demands are slightly different in terms of some people have family, things like that. But a lot of the day is very routine and very structured, which means you can actually get away with using a similar program at that level. However, for me, the amateur athlete and the player at the grassroots level have very varying different demands. So, for example, we've got people on the program that work 24-hour shifts. We've got some people that run their own business. We've got some people that work mornings, afternoons, nights. We've got some people that kind of have manual labour jobs, maybe 7 till 3, they're out on the tools. And we've got some people that work a 9 to 5. Now, to ask those people to jump on a group program and make that program fit their life is ridiculous, because it's not taking into account all the other demands that they've got on, which is exactly why we've created the Strength Solution the way that we have, is to make sure that we can meet you exactly where you're at and not have this program and try and like blunt force trauma fitted into your life. Is to try and make sure that whatever we actually put on the program complements your life, not complicates it. And that is why we're branching out and looking for a second coach as well, is because we'll never ever sacrifice on that level of detail. And that's the goal of the Strength Solution, is you don't sell shit in a can once, and our job is to make sure that whenever people come in, we do a great job, they tell other people, and ultimately that's the easiest way to grow a business. So that is the goal. We've got some big news which I'm going to kind of run through in the car because I'm running quite late and I do actually need to pack my suitcase to go to Amsterdam. So I love packing because you could have packed like 36 different pairs of boxers just in case you shit yourself. That's the main thing. So we are going to get on with packing right now, and then yeah, we are going to get on with it, and I'll update you in the car on the opportunity that we've got. Is an exciting one. What a day we've had so far. So we're currently on the way up to Winchester, suitcase all packed, and we've got some exciting news. I'm very, very apprehensive about it as well, but I think that's always a good thing. But this is the stuff that they don't really tell you about business and coaching in general, because when I first got into kind of coaching, it was purely because I loved it. I had a basement gym, everyone would come down and I'd research, I'd write the programs, I'd watch everyone get better, I'd learn from that, and I'd continually evolve as a coach. But it all started because I was just curious as to how to create the best athletes, because deep down I knew in myself, the performances that I were putting up back in the day, I could do better, and I just didn't know how. So it was out there somewhere, I just had to find it, and I spent hours and hours researching, and it got me in love with coaching, because not only was I able to kind of push myself to places that I never thought were possible, I've now been able to do it for other people, and that's the best part. The kick that you get when someone messages you and says, you know what, we've just crushed a PB, is absolutely class, right? There's no better feeling than seeing people succeed, because I know that feeling of knowing you can do more but just not too sure how, and to be able to just kind of point people in the right direction and just say, if you do this stuff, good things will happen, and then watching that unfold and watching the confidence that that brings is sick. But they don't tell you, if you want to kind of carry on growing and push and do this thing, you're gonna have to do less of it. And for me, that's kind of an apprehensive part, because I don't really want to sacrifice that just yet. The same way I didn't really want to give up playing, but the
for now it felt like the right decision. I don't really want to give this part up, and that's why I'm always going to have a kind of big foot in the door when it comes to coaching. But taking a little bit of a step back now is something that could be happening sooner rather than later. So we've been having a couple of chats with people, and we're still going to put some feelers out there, because I have no doubt that this business is going to grow more and more, and we're probably going to need more than one coach to come on. But essentially, we've found a guy that's pretty sick. We've had a couple of calls now, and I really like his buzz, really like his energy. Not only is he a good coach, but he's a great rugby player too, and that was one of the things that I was looking for. Like, I want someone to know in and out of what it feels like to turn up to train on Tuesday, Thursday, you know, in the pissing down rain, regardless of what weather it is, and just kind of give your best foot forward. And I wanted them to understand what that felt like, and I think he fits the bill so far from what we spoke about. And we've kind of agreed on a little bit of a trial period, much like you would when you're kind of going on loan to a football club, rugby club, something like that. You want to see what they're about, and I think the best way to kind of see what they're about is not about talking about it, just seeing what they can do. And ultimately, that's what the next 30 days are going to be about. So we've outlined some clear-cut expectations. We've given him 3 athletes that he's going to work with, and essentially we're just going to monitor the day-to-day. We're going to touch base, we're going to check in, we're going to do some weekly reviews, and ultimately I'm going to help him grow alongside this business, hopefully. And in the next 30 days we may have a second coach, and that's pretty sick to see. And you know, it's just come full circle that the kind of trip that I'm on right now is a coach education course, because for me, I think that's what's been good to see, is as my education has kind of grown, I have dedicated hours and hours and hours to CPD along this, that hopefully I'm able to pass some of this stuff on to another coach to be able to get results in my business, which is pretty sick to see. So, but yeah, it's come full circle moment. But this is stuff that they don't tell you. Like, when I first started this, I was like, yep, I'm just going to be on the gym floor, coach people. Then it was like, oh shit, you've got to move online, COVID, all this stuff. They didn't prepare you for that one, did they? And then next thing you know, we're like, right, you're going to have to write out some SOPs for a coach that's coming on, and you're going to have to walk through exactly what you want them to do, and basically be in charge of another human being outside of training. It's quite nerve-wracking. So we're throwing ourselves into it, and we're going to see what the future holds. But what I do know the future holds right now is a very, very big pizza from Pie in Winchester. Hopefully it's my favourite spot to eat pizza at. Pizzas are massive, right? And we're going to see how quickly we can eat it, because I'm a fucking child at heart. And then we are going to take a little flight over to Amsterdam, and we're going to embrace the Amsterdam culture for 48 short hours, but we're going to make the most of it. I'm going to bring the camera along, aka you guys, and I'm going to walk you through 48 hours in Amsterdam as a strength and conditioning coach. It's not as fun as it would be, but we'll make the most of it. We'll make the most of it. So this could be the end. I could show a little B-roll of me in an absolute heinous amount of food, but if it is, thanks for watching this one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.
All year round, and my kush was loud. And the police, they did the same shit y'all seeing now, except camera phones wasn't now. God.